Metal Dumbells.
Roll.
Sup fam! Alright, welcome to episode 13
Yes.
of Mental Dumbells. Today we have someone very special, someone that okay, this is a very interesting story about how I met Rachel and later on you, which is I was on a Grab share. Yeah, that's right. And I was talking to the driver about what I do on my free time, which is do a podcast called Mental Dumbells that promotes we're trying to create this what's it called, umbrella of self-help content, and right now we're talking about mental health. And then I lo and behold, you hear from here, oh really what do you do? What do you talk about? No, of course I've been diagnosed with depression and anxiety. And oh wow, actually I'm a counselor. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, so apparently he met Rachel at a Grab share.
Yeah.
Then he having a conversation with the taxi driver first.
Yeah.
Then she overheard. Then coincidentally, they all technically are in the same field.
Yeah, it was like at 12. I remember at 12, then she was going to work. I was like, wow, actually not bad. 12 o'clock, yeah.
What day was it?
I don't know. It's a weekday. Yeah. Then I was like,
Nice.
wow, 12 o'clock then go to work quite shiok.
Come back at 12 also.
Oh wow.
It's good on another share back.
Another level.
Yeah,
But
so yeah,
then we just met. Then I was like, we exchanged contacts. Like, would you be interested in like coming to talk to us about mental health and like learning more about this kind of stuff? And she was gracious enough to introduce me to Kirby, who is I think your girlfriend. Right. Alright. So where was I? Okay. So
met them on a Grab share.
yeah, correct. Then
it's too long.
Rachel
Wait,
introduced
too long.
Rachel introduced us to Kirby. Because due to some work restraints, Rachel can't be on our show right now, but maybe one day, right?
Yes, hopefully one day.
Yeah, they'll be sharing with us insights about mental health, about what they do on a daily basis, and some questions that we have thought of ourselves. And I look forward to learning more. Really, thank you so much for coming.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Would you like to share anything about what you do and like your credentials? You know, it's a long list.
I have no
It's a long
credentials,
list.
man.
No, it's
Just trying to be humble.
yeah,
anyways.
I'm a very very humble guy.
No, I don't really base on credentials, but yeah, my name is Kirby Chua. I'm from Grace Counseling Center, and my lovely wife is your contact person.
Yeah.
Right? This is Rachel. She's there.
She's your manager.
Yeah, cannot be shown in camera. But anyway, I spend my time working as a psychologist, a counseling psychologist. So yeah, I deal with all anxiety cases, and especially for depression, which is everywhere.
Here you go.
Yeah, I heard like it's becoming one of the top disease.
It's like
that is
epidemic.
affecting everyone.
Wait. Before we continue first, can we just
Oh, yeah,
do
okay.
the ritual?
Yeah.
So, thank you very much for being on the show.
Yes.
We're gonna do our ritual. So you just put this can very close to the mic. To
Oh,
have a
okay.
very satisfying can open. So ready? Three,
Sorry.
Then 1, 2. Nice.
Yo.
Take one sip.
Hey, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
To a good episode, huh?
Oh, very thirsty.
Same. Oh. Okay.
Alright.
So yeah, depression is an epidemic nowadays. Like it's so common that it's an epidemic. Do you agree?
I agree. It's
Yeah,
even
yeah.
more common today, especially for the ones who seek for help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People don't usually seek help unless there's depression.
Yeah.
I think it's a given. It's a requirement.
What do you
Right.
mean?
Without depression, they won't seek help. That's my impression. So most disorders are usually accompanied by depression.
Like what?
Disorders are complete.
By depression.
Like
Well, let's say for example the typical addict or the typical phobic.
Yeah.
They won't really. This is my impression only.
Yeah.
They won't usually seek help until they feel the distress of depression.
Oh.
It's like the alarm signal,
Oh.
which is the main function of depression.
So it's like the extreme end, then you
Yeah,
get depression.
it's what pushes them to seek counseling.
Oh.
Makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So what are the most, like, if you don't mind sharing, what are the most common like phobics and what's it called? What we
Well, I just use the word phobics for the
Yeah,
anxiety
yeah,
part,
yeah.
but because usually they suffer from fears.
Oh.
So your
what kind
question,
of
the most common-
disorder is most common
Oh.
that come to you, other than depression,
other than depression,
anorexia.
anorexia. Yeah, we have. Normally, it's a huge umbrella of anxiety and depression, like
Oh.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
And under anxiety, you can put there the anorexia,
Yeah.
OCDs. You can place in there. I mentioned phobia a while ago. Yeah.
What phobia have you come across?
Just to be careful.
Uh-huh.
Phobia, social phobia is the most common.
Oh.
Social phobia, phobia of social influences, phobia of social situations where people feel judged and they feel like they're on camera. Feel that they don't want being the center of attention. They don't want being observed. Yeah. So social phobia is the more common one. The next one, surprisingly, in Singapore, agoraphobia. It's the fear of having a fear. It's the fear of being afraid.
Huh? Wow. There's such
Yeah. The fear of it's a secondary fear. Yeah.
Oh.
Fear of being afraid. Fear of having a panic attack. That they don't even leave the house.
Wow.
It's quite common.
So like they initially just afraid that they have it, then that downward spiral.
Yeah.
Drives it.
Like if I leave the house, what if I get a panic attack?
Wow.
If I fly off, what if I get a panic attack in the plane? Yeah. So you just lock themselves at home.
Fear of fear.
Fear of fearing.
Yeah.
Wow,
Fear
of
that's
fearing.
interesting. Yeah. Okay, guys. So for today, right? Okay, we really want to expose you all more towards mental health, especially. So we've been talking about mental health for quite a while now already. But what we want to do is we actually want to get someone who at least a lot more knowledgeable to share his experience when it comes to this department of mental health, right? So Kirby is extremely experienced, and also he's certified as well. So like whatever he says, I would take it with a bigger pinch of salt. Is it? Yeah, bigger pinch of salt. Because once again, like over here, we are humans. Definitely, we have our own opinions and such. So like whatever that we see on this channel is still ultimately what we think. Like our advice, not our advice, is we share our own experiences. Then we hope that you guys can see and tune in to us, then pick out what you think is necessary and what you think is helpful for you. Then you use it along with your life and hope that you can improve as well, right? So like moving on, right? We really want to know more towards mental wellness and mental illnesses. So like as you mentioned just now, that means the biggest one is depression and anxiety. Okay, so like can you help us define anxiety? Because like one issue that actually we dealt a lot with is we still feel that like we don't know a very clear definition of anxiety or being anxious about something. Like in your perspective, how is it different?
Okay, the easiest way to characterize depression and anxiety is all about fears, obviously, right? It's about fears, and most textbooks would say it's unconscious fear. It's a fear that you cannot pinpoint.
Okay.
For most cases. So I would liken anxiety as the need to run away. More or less, when you're attacked by anxiety or this fear, the body will design itself to run away. That's anxiety. So your heart will raise up, your muscles will tense, sweat glands will pour up and stuff. It's all designed to run away. Depression, on the other hand, most people confuse the two, right? Anxiety and depression. Actually, depression, I would say it's more or less the opposite, because as anxiety is about running away, depression, on the other hand, is giving up. It's just like slump. Just like kill me. just depression. So sometimes I challenge my students to fuse the two. Can you really give up while wanting to fight to run away? Because some people argue that anxiety and depression go hand in hand. But for some cases it's the antithesis, right? A part of you wants to run away from the bear.
Okay.
That's anxiety. Right?
But the depression is like,
just
like eat me lah.
You just sit down there, just finish me. Learn helplessness. I don't want to do anything, I give up. Anxiety is the opposite. I'm not giving up. My mind is constantly looking for a way out.
Okay.
Yeah? Certain rituals, wash my hands, worry about this. Whatever it is, I need activity to convince myself that I'm doing something. Yeah? So in turn, it becomes very distressing because it could be ritualistic. It could burn your energies. And the basic feeling of having your body charged up all the time.
Okay.
You want to run, but run from what? run to where, right? For nothing, yeah. So the
Yeah.
panic attack just happens. Yeah.
So like, like you keep trying to prepare yourself for something that's never gonna happen, then you always never have downtime, which makes you very like
Dead.
dead.
Yes. That's anxiety, the true blue anxiety.
Okay.
You're running away from something that you don't know what.
I think it's true that the anxiety and depression comes hand in because after I have my panic attack, I usually have a depressive episode. Yeah.
Okay.
Because after I
it
tense up,
flips,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
I get
okay.
tired, then I get sad, then I get sad. Once I got enough energy, then I get scared again, then I get tired again, then scared and tired. Oh,
Okay.
It's a spiral of death.
It's a
But
spiral.
for yours,
Yeah.
for yours is what first?
Anxiety first.
Anxiety.
Always anxiety first.
Then you
Then
got
you
on.
get depressive episode.
Okay.
Yeah, because I feel so drained. Either I pop a Xanax and then after I
Oh,
pop a
okay.
Xanax.
Understand. Oh, okay. I got clear.
He
So
still
your
doing it.
your body will, your mind will try to drain yourself
Yeah.
out first, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. And after that, it's dreaming time.
Yeah.
And sleep time.
More about it later.
But then the dream is not.
So it's like if both are actually opposites, right? That means the way you treat it is also different.
Oh,
Oh, very different. Very
Ah.
different. Like
Okay.
like you. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna put into some distraction. They call it distraction techniques, which is
Okay.
simply just doing something else.
Ah.
Occupational therapy. Occupy yourself with something else.
Oh,
Yeah, the treatment sometimes can appear the same.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but to distinguish anxiety and depression is very important because in the first place, especially when you mentioned medications,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
Sometimes it will fork away.
Yeah.
Yeah, from downers to uppers.
Yeah.
You need uppers for depression
Mm-hmm.
and you need downers for anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the
Yeah.
really.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So take note, right, that when anxiety, your body is prepared to run, your heart will be pumping very, very fast. The opposite there is the biological opposite would be
Oh, okay,
depression,
yeah.
where your heart is giving up.
Ah.
It's just there, and you want something to pump it up, get your energy going.
Now I feel the magnitude of stuff. It's like so tiring to be up. Then after that later too tired, and then you go down. Then lost hopelessness. Then
Then
you
the
go.
thoughts come back
Ah.
in. Yeah.
You anxiety. Wow.
Welcome to my life.
Now it hit me. It just hit me.
Oh, really?
You feel, yeah.
Because I've been trying to explain
Oh.
to him like what anxiety is, but I'm trying to show him, but then he's obviously never get the full
Yeah,
image.
it's
I
always
think-
been on this quest ever
Yeah.
since to really understand and. Oh, okay. Now I kind of see
So
the.
you just tell him to just snap it off, right?
Yeah, he told me to just go and chill.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
me it's like you just relax, breathe,
Yeah.
or something like that. But it's. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like for example, breathing, right?
Ah.
Deep breathing. Let me think.
It calms me down when like cause I know he's not aware of like what
Yeah.
I'm going through in my mind, so he this is his way of showing.
Yes, it depends
Yeah.
because yeah, deep breathing calms you down,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
But deep breathing cannot be used for the ones who palpitate.
Yeah, correct. You cannot
Yeah.
anyhow use, but in my case, I can use deep breathing. I can close my eyes and I can do the mindfulness exercises, that kind of thing. But people with extreme like symptoms, they cannot do it, right?
When their heart is already pumping very fast
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and they're already hyperventilating.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
That's a symptom of anxiety attack.
yeah.
Okay.
So, but anxiety is manifested in different ways.
Oh,
So some benefit from deep breathing, some actually make it worse.
oh.
Yeah, that's why they breathe in the brown paper bag.
Yeah.
The brown paper bag is used for the ones who breathe a lot,
Or breathe too fast.
breathe too fast.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you do
I
is
do
you
the deep
breathe
breathing, yeah.
deep and you hold it, right?
Yeah.
Consume all the oxygen, then you breathe out.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What does it do when you keep breathing inside the bag?
You recycle your oxygen because you have too much oxygen.
Oh.
So yeah.
Huh?
So for some people who hyperventilate and you
Ah.
ask them to breathe deeply and stuff,
Yeah.
their blood will become more alkaline. Means their blood will collect more oxygen inside, and the
Ah.
more nervous that they will feel.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
So if a person is hyperventilating, don't tell them take a deep breath.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Huh?
Yeah. You try
Wow,
to
I
take
didn't-
20 deep breaths now, and what you will feel is tingling sensations.
Okay,
You feel-
I'll try
Yeah.
it later. I'll try it.
Yeah. Or you watch movies where they're looking for anesthetics, right? And they put
Yeah.
oxygen,
Ah.
and the person sleeps.
Yes, yeah.
Oxygen is
But this is just pure oxygen.
yeah.
I thought it sounded kind of like anesthesia. No. Is it?
Well, some have
Some-
Novocaine.
oh yeah.
No, but usually it's just oxygen. Like
Oh,
for the
wow.
ones giving birth,
Ah.
usually the nurses will give you an oxygen mask.
To knock you out.
as an anesthetic
Oh, okay,
yeah.
wow.
to make the body numb to lessen the pain stimulation.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So if assuming somebody is hyperventilating, then what's the next step?
If you don't have paper bag.
Okay, well, okay. If someone is okay, how do you know that you're hyperventilating, right? If you feel short burst like this, yeah, and you feel like actually if you take a deep breath, you'd feel that the oxygen is not consumed by the body. It's like, hey, I'm not breathing, man.
Oh, okay.
You breathe further, it's like I'm breathing empty air.
Okay.
So that's hyperventilation. What will happen there is your heart will race higher and try to look for more air. So what you see in the movies, and I agree with this, is to use a brown paper bag or just do this
Cover.
to recycle. We call it recycling your oxygen. Recycle your carbon dioxide. Yeah, because there's too much oxygen. When it's happening, just take note that there's too much oxygen in your blood.
So breathe into your hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's too much oxygen in your blood, and when that happens, you will feel tingling sensations. I can assure you that's not a heart attack. You're not having a stroke, but your mind will tell you. You have this.
Yeah, I had it before.
So ignorance is bliss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your eyes will widen and then you will start to panic looking around. Then you tense up muscles. Then you don't know what to do. Then you just wanna do something, but there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
It's just,
So to slow down your breath is good. Yeah. To slow down the breath. Yeah.
like
Breathe deeply. As long as it slows down, it's okay. Yeah.
It happened to me when that was what the first time it happened to me. I hyperventilated in camp. Then my sergeants and my like superiors told me that, okay, you are having a panic attack. Just calm down. Just breathe. And I'm like, but now it turns out that I'm not supposed to breathe that much because they keep telling me to take a deep breath and then
Slow deep breath. Yeah.
No, they told me to take deep breath.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah, turns out they're wrong.
Yeah. So it depends. Yeah. When you say anxiety attack,
Yeah.
some people forget to breathe.
Yeah.
Some people hyperventilate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
some people forget to breathe, so they just like they don't.
Like
from the fear, they just hold on to something and
frozen.
yeah,
Oh,
frozen.
yeah. Wow. But how do you tell? Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It happens during sleep also, right? Sometimes.
Yeah, I wake up from
apnea.
Wake up, then you like you breathe.
Yeah, cause I during my nightmare I cannot breathe. Just that I so scared.
Or you're
that
busy
I choose-
screaming,
yeah.
is it?
No,
Yeah.
I feel like I frozen. I just hold there for the whole duration. Then I use that because of that I wake up.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Dizzy and
Yeah.
okay.
It's not fun. It's really not
So it is.
Yeah.
It's terrifying,
Yeah,
man.
it's
You
very
really
terrifying.
confess your sins at that time.
Yeah. Like
So, but very important for your viewers is
Uh-huh.
that when you use a paper bag, use a
Uh-huh.
paper bag, not
Oh.
a plastic one.
oh,
You can try using a plastic one.
you might suffocate.
It tends to stick and stuff,
Oh.
but it has inherent chemicals.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Alright.
Okay,
So
Yeah.
paper bag.
Paper
or
bag,
hand, no
paper
plastic bag.
yeah, wow. Hand is okay.
I think hand is the more approachable. If like you see your friend, is it possible that if my friend is hyperventilating, I let it for him? I give them my hand.
Can.
You want to be a good friend like that. You having your mind blown now, is it?
Yeah. Like the things is going through my mind.
You
Wow.
don't know this kind of thing is going on.
No, but like it's just like always very surfacey to me. Like since you dive deeper a bit more, then like I understand. Oh, actually, this is how it really feels. Cause like since like other medias that I see, it's just like anxiety attack, just like that. Then I just like relax just chill You know what I'm saying? Like in my mind, it's just like I watch movies and when you get anxiety attack, it's the same. I'm just like, just chill, go and solve the problem, and then it's all done and over with. Those kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's like I always like you watch a show, then he's stuck in a very tough situation, then he starts having a panic attack, then he breaks down, but after a while you'll be fine. That kind of idea. Like, you get what I mean? Like you just hey bro, get over it. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like that to me.
That they can
That's why-
control it, right? Actually,
Yeah.
But most of the time it's non-controllable. Right?
If it's
I can't still
normal
have-
anxiety, we have ways. You know what I'm saying? But when you say anxiety disorders, right?
It's then
It's
scale.
too late.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what I mean, like that means there's normal anxiety, there's anxiety disorder as well.
Anxiety is a normal. Actually, emotions. All the emotions like happiness, sadness.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
okay.
careful to distinguish sadness from depression because all of these emotions are I would say natural,
Yeah.
and they have a survival function.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
like running is a wise thing to do, right? Right. Normally, unless you run from everything. So anxiety, technically, it's an alarm. Like when you have an exam tomorrow, or your boss is calling you, and you feel a bit of anxiety. I would say we don't dismiss this. It's a normal sensation, and your body's trying to communicate something to you, and normally we can switch it off. Yeah, that hey, I'm afraid of this moment. Then okay, yeah.
Is it like the way I define it is being anxious and
Having anxiety.
is that the clinical kind of term?
Yeah, anxiety and anxious.
Or is it like anxious anxiety and anxiety disorder? Is that
Okay, yeah.
Is that
When you put the D word, which is the disorder, it becomes uncontrollable already.
Oh.
So your normal level is here. You're just anxious is here.
Okay.
Actually, when you're anxious, some people, no, most athletes perform better when they're anxious, a bit anxious.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much. Yay. Now that we have, thank you so much, Rachel.
You have a job now.
Yeah, we have someone helping us.
See, I'm so important.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
So long I don't have to pedal, it's good for me.
And you just okay there,
Are
right?
you so sure you know it better?
Recording?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
But
So
so the doctor told me that my psychiatrist told me that I got anxiety and depression. So I don't have anxiety disorder. That's
I'm not sure what your doctor told you,
okay.
but
So
anxiety
there's a-
disorder is when the anxiety is switched on, right? It goes high until panic attack.
Yeah, I get that.
It's a form of anxiety disorder. Yeah.
Oh.
So for non-patients, we have an exam tomorrow. Anxiety goes up, but it goes to a certain point. You're still functional. In fact, as I mentioned a while ago, you perform better when you're a bit anxious.
Correct.
Okay.
Because your
That
heart
makes
beat a
sense.
bit faster, then you'll be
Yeah,
kanchong.
you're aroused. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Adrenaline
physical
and
arousal.
everything. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
like some. This is what the job of the cheerleaders is to pump up the crowd.
Right.
And imagine being an athlete or a performer, and there's no one watching. Your anxiety level is like this, and you fall asleep while on the stage.
Yeah, no kick.
Yeah, no kick, no kick. So anxiety is our friend, technically. Yeah, yeah.
But
But
when
for some
it's too
people,
much.
it just goes off the grid.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, understand.
Mind blown.
Mind blown.
Yeah, mind blown.
Wait.
I didn't know that there's that contrast, you know.
Oh, okay. So
'Cause
it's not
I
an
think
enemy. Not an enemy.
Yeah, because mine goes to panic attack, but when it's rising, I'm learning to curb it while it's rising. But once it hits that high, when I'm like already starting to have my feet right, I cannot control.
There's a point that you
Yeah.
cannot.
Yeah, there's a
pull
point
back,
point no return. Like you just
Yeah.
have to suffer through it. Then
Yes.
just go and pop a zenny or go and do something, lie down, do mindfulness.
Yeah. Your heart will just go
Go crazy.
up 100, 120
Yeah.
like this.
But what are the few other stuff you can do if you're having a panic attack?
Oh yeah, right now. Wait. Before we go there, what's the difference between panic attack and anxiety attack?
Okay. It's just a magnitude, difference of magnitude.
Oh.
Anxiety attack is just nervous. Once the word panic comes out, it means panic is the highest expression of fear.
Okay.
It's the
Oh,
highest
so that means
expression
we're
of
wrong.
fear.
Because I read online that they say is panic attack has no reason, anxiety attack has a reason. Has a
Usually
trigger.
anxiety is no.
Yeah.
Anxiety attack has no known reason or no conscious reason.
Oh.
So it's just the magnitude.
Here's a magnitude.
Okay. So level 1 and level 2 lah. I get it.
Level 1 and level 1000.
Oh yeah. So anxiety attack you can still control. Right?
Yes.
Ah.
Anxiety, yeah, it's just a magnitude thing.
So is it true that you have? So does it mean that when you have an anxiety attack, then you have panic attack? When it
Yes.
Okay.
Anxiety attack, you can start your methods already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So which one are we talking about? Anxiety
Oh,
or
you're
panic
asking about how to.
attack?
how
When
to-
someone is having anxiety or panic?
Anxiety.
The best is to catch yourself in an anxious state, right?
Okay,
But most people are not aware of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing that now. Very very mindful of whenever I'm anxious. So I will ground myself, do mindfulness, breathe, that kind of stuff. But is there any other way that you can recommend?
Yeah, I'm not usually the guy who will recommend breathing and stuff, right?
Okay.
Because, yeah, for for the reason that you may enter a state of hyperventilation. And the other thing there is when you start focusing on your breathing. This is what I notice, is that you tend to convince your mind that I'm gonna have a panic attack. Yeah. So for me, I'm more
it's a very slippery slope.
yes,
It's a very slippery slope.
Sometimes if you can try ignoring it.
Ignoring.
Okay.
Ignoring.
It's a form of distraction.
Ah.
You just ignore, carry on with your task.
Okay.
So it's a case to case. Let's say, for example, for Shin, right? How does it start with you?
Let's say I see someone. I'm walking on the street. Then I see someone in uniform. I'll start to have anxiety attack.
Oh yeah. What do you feel? Tingling sensations.
I feel like muscles tensing up.
Okay. Yeah.
Breathing start to, and then my eyes start to widen and look around more, and like start to panic, start to tense up a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
For that case, it's very kinesthetic. It's body wise, right?
Yeah.
You can massage your body first. Massage. Get the blood flowing. Create the heat also.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
It helps. Greatly helps.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first tip here is to catch yourself in an anxiety state first. Don't wait for a panic attack, then you do something about it.
Okay.
The most effective. I'm not a psychiatrist, by the way.
Yeah.
but the most effective that I've been prescribing to people is number one, eating mints.
Oh.
Mint, the strong mint.
Oh.
Okay.
So that the mintiness will wake you up.
Distract you.
It has a calming
Element to it.
It's a calming effect.
Okay.
Yeah. So please take note. Anxiety attack and panic attacks always begins with the body and the mind misinterpreting the body.
Oh.
The mind misinterpreting the body.
Okay.
But some people would say, I'm having a heart attack. Or I'm having a stroke, which is worse.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So something will happen in the body. Like my heart is beating faster.
Why is it being faster?
I'm probably gonna
Die.
die.
Yeah.
It's always So if you can fool the perception by having a mint, calmer today.
Oh.
Yeah. And the other one is getting a hot cup of coffee, supposed to be coffee, and I just put it as a hot compress.
Just touch yourself with it.
I didn't tell you this before. Sorry.
Oh. But doesn't the coffee, if you
No, doesn't. Yeah, hot water or hot compress.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Hot beverage.
Hot beverage. Oh, this
Something it's just to warm the mug. If you have a hot compress,
just to touch you to soothe you.
soothe you, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
wow, that's cool.
So what you're saying is that it's first a physical reaction, then afterwards you will kind of convince yourself that it's gonna get worse, which is a mental
Yes.
reaction afterwards, then make you go haywire.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Oh,
that's why
wow.
most of the people who get anxiety attacks are the ones who are more of the. It's called the textbook syndrome. That they watch medical dramas. They know what's happening in the body. Yeah, like I'm having a stroke. I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna have that.
Oh, really? People like that have a higher tendency of having anxiety.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
So
But I don't watch that.
you
though,
probably read some. Yeah. What comes to your mind when you have?
Just that. What the fuck? Straight out in my mind is what the fuck. Like these three words are on repeat, and like I'm gonna get in trouble.
Oh, okay. It's a different.
Yeah,
It's a social punishment.
Yeah, it's a social thing. So
It's a social. You're
That's why
expecting a punishment.
yeah,
social
I'm
punishment.
expecting like someone to hit me, or I'm gonna get someone gonna scold me, that kind of stuff. I'm very against like getting. I have a fear of getting scolded and this kind of thing. So it's something I'm working on.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned because last time in army,
Oh, in army,
it
I
was
got my
quite unfairly treated.
I was.
That one.
You mean everyone?
Quite
Only him.
Only I was just I was
His opinion.
reprimanded in front of.
In his opinion,
I was reprimanded in front of my men.
Yeah.
Treated like less than human.
Okay.
And, that traumatized me.
Unfairly
Unfairly
treated,
treated. Like in my opinion, unfairly lah. I never had the opportunity to go and talk to the person who reprimanded me. But like I hope to get to that point where I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's something that obviously wasn't fair to you, right?
Yeah.
And it's something that you cannot stop and you have no control over.
Yeah. Like for the first time, I felt so lost.
Okay.
Like that
Powerless.
person just, just screaming at me. I'm just like, wow, he's just bringing me. Because I'm very proud to be a sergeant in the army. I'm very proud to be a military policeman. But that session, like that weekend of consistent fucking, just took everything away from me. And like that gave me very very bad anxiety. Yeah, that's the beginning of everything I do.
Okay. Yeah. The thinking that
That
unfairness may hit
Yeah.
you
yeah.
without you doing anything wrong, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Like it was just wow. Even now talking about it's a bad memory, very very bad memory. Yeah, I'm working through it really. On a day-to-day basis, I'm trying to get a step closer to like looking at my uniform more, trying to remind myself of like how okay it is, you know.
Okay.
And then taking the necessary steps to hopefully one day go back to service
Nice.
Yeah, but
So you get your rank and everything?
yeah, I have I get everything ready, but it's just I just miss my guys. I just miss the job that I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's okay. I'm getting better, and when I go back, I'm gonna be so much better as a person.
You will be. Yeah.
So taking the steps hopefully this will help some people who are serving the nation as well with problems like mine or like perspective like mine that you have been unfairly treated and you are suffering from some backlash of it. You can slowly work on it and take some time off. It's okay on. People call it choking or whatever. It's okay on. Just be yourself. Just work on you. And when you are better and emotionally more stable, you can give so much more back to the society. Can earn your citizenship better. Yeah, things like that.
So since you're on that topic, right?
Yeah.
Like now the way I see it is like a mental stress, which cause a physical reaction, then again added mental stress. Okay, wait, pause. Sorry.
Pause.
Okay, so right, so far what I can see is like it's more of like a psychological thing. So like maybe he has some emotional trauma, then after that followed by physical reaction, then gradually like overreaction of that physical reaction will cause them to have anxiety attacks.
Yes.
Okay, so in terms of us, right, like we won't say in a professional capacity how will you treat it. I feel the best would be to go and look for Kirby.
Yeah.
Call his number.
Curry.
Yeah. But if in a perspective so in a perspective of like us or someone that is just realizing it and handling it, right, how would they make themselves to take a few steps into recovering?
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, it's important for people to understand that anxiety is natural, and you therefore have the natural power to stop it yourself. Technically, you have the tools. But to answer your question directly, you can do this on your own. The first one, you can deal with it in two levels. The superficial level is simply to switch off the current anxiety attack. Whoa.
Okay, leave it. Yeah, leave it. Okay, sorry.
Go on. It's too important.
So sorry.
Honestly.
Let's continue.
Yeah, I can repeat no word. So the surface is to stop the current anxiety attack, and the long-term one is to deal with the deeper root, like what he's sharing, right? His feeling of injustice, even shame, anger, the deeper one, which will take
Shame.
longer. So I'll stick to the topmost part first, which is dealing with the anxiety.
Yeah.
So you can stop fearing your symptoms, stop fearing your anxieties, and we have quick techniques. Like a while ago we discussed distraction techniques.
Sorry, right now. Okay, go on.
Distraction techniques. The other one would be distraction techniques would be changing the way you think, looking at other things. Have your friend change the topic of conversation. Simple distraction techniques. The other one that we took up a while ago would be kinesthetic techniques, somatic techniques. To fool your bodily systems into thinking that you're not going to have a panic attack. Yeah, your muscles are relaxed. Another one that I want to share is something that needs a little bit of preparation. Is to condition yourself. I don't want to use the word. Is to condition yourself with safe, relaxing, and peaceful images.
Safe, relax.
It's like a mantra. A mantra is something that you repeat, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'll be fine. But this one is more visual.
Oh, so you look at something.
Yeah, look at something. For me, it's always it's always about the beach and the mountains of Krabi.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, you like it already, right? Yeah.
So you think about that when you are feeling anxious.
Yeah.
Okay.
And more importantly, to be more effective, even before you feel anxious, you train yourself to relax as soon as you see this image.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So, for example,
Yeah.
what I suggest to my clients is just 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes before sleeping, visit this place
Ah,
and train yourself to relax every time you see this.
okay, okay.
So it's like a programming,
Like,
So,
like priming yourself for that thing.
priming yourself for that thing.
Okay, okay, okay.
How do you train yourself? So you just keep looking at the place and telling yourself, calm, calm, calm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to be in that place, whatever your image is, could be in outer space, could be.
Mine would be being at home.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Being at home, being with my family.
So another one would be desensitize you from your make you less sensitive to what makes you anxious.
Yeah,
of
which is
course.
what I'm trying by looking
Yeah.
at the uniform.
Who told you
already.
this? Your
Just
therapist?
myself.
Oh, okay,
Like
okay.
whenever I go through, let's say I injure myself, I sprain my elbow. I'll just keep working on it, try to make sure, try to keep moving, desensitize myself from the pain.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm doing that to my mind as well.
Okay. well, how about seeing images of people in uniform?
I cannot get to that level because whenever I see
Yeah.
people in uniform, I'll fall.
Okay. How about picturing them in your mind?
I try not to think about it, but I think if it's my friends, it's okay. My
Oh,
friends
okay.
in uniform is the next step that I'm taking, which is I talk to my friends when they are wearing their uniform.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Because what we usually do, like for example, you can do this easily at home,
Yeah.
is find ways to bring your anxiety to a certain level. Because you brought it, you can shoo it away yourself, right? Bring it to a certain level, then take it away. Can you do
That's how
that?
it descends. Yeah, I think I can
Yeah.
control it.
Bring it back, take it away, bring it back, take it away. Then
But what if you bring it back, then oh shit, cannot bring it down.
then next time you practice this, don't go to that level.
Oh.
So it's the element of control. I want to show people that the anxiety was brought by you, and only you have the power to let it go away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's powerful.
Yeah, I hope.
So the most important thing is not really to wait for the anxiety and go for damage control.
But to preempt it.
Preempt. Yeah.
Oh.
Train your mind and your body. Since you're in a recovery stage, right?
Yeah.
Train your mind and body for the battle to come. Yeah,
Oh,
so to
okay,
speak.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's the best.
Wow.
Okay. That takes a very, very big amount of control. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night.
That's the framing.
Can you?
Yeah.
I don't think I can bring it up and bring it down in 5 minutes. Though.
What once? Oh, okay. How long would it take you to bring it up?
Bring it up, it takes 1 minute. Bring it down, it takes like 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because bringing it down, it takes a lot of like telling myself that I'm okay, nothing can hurt me. Relax, breathe.
Okay.
Look around. You're at home. You know, it takes a super long time.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I need. Maybe that can be my next step. That I do
Yeah,
it.
we look for methods to bring it down
Yeah.
faster.
I'm trying too many things right now.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
trying-
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, distraction.
Listen to your therapist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying like no, this is all from self-help.
From
So,
self-help.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just doing I'm going to the gym. Whenever I feel anxious, I'll do exercise, I'll push up, and then whenever I feel upset, I'll just go out. Like I'm trying to distract myself as much as I can, and then desensitize myself. Whenever I open the cabinet, I'll look up to my uniform, and then just try to think of.
Okay, that's the good thing.
Yeah.
That you bring the anxiety.
Yeah, but then like once I see it, now it's like, fuck, and I just take that away. So I'm still very, very afraid of that whole part of my life right now.
Okay.
It's very upsetting lah, cause I had to go to camp one time last month or a few months ago, and then it took me. I was supposed to report in camp 8 a.m. Then and I reported at 7 and I woke up at 4 a.m. and it took me 2 hours to put on the uniform because I kept having episodes crying. And,
Okay. Crying and you feel the spasms.
Yeah, spasm already then cry, then spasm already then cry. So for 4 hours straight.
Excuse me.
Yeah, for a few hours straight, I just.
Okay, like for example, you can do it now. You know.
Yeah.
Like I said, for example, the spasm is at your back, right? Yeah. Can you crunch your back right now? How does that feel?
Not the way that it happens, cause it happens the way like there's something grabbing onto you, like it's there are muscles that I don't know existed. I don't know how it feels like. I cannot flex that part.
Okay.
It's damn weird. Is it normal?
Yeah. I mean, it's the involuntary muscles.
It's the
It's not the,
it's just like whoa shit. Okay, that's my anxiety muscle. that's what I call it lah.
Anxiety
Yeah.
muscle.
Like my lower back will start like okay then then the
Lower
arms
back.
come in, then the chest come in, then the body will shrivel up, then the shaking.
Then try to
Yeah.
try to flex and deflex your body right now.
Ah.
Just to gain more control over your body.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try that. Wow, thank you so much. Wow. Hopefully I get better
Yeah.
faster. Really, like very urgently, they're desperate to get better.
Yeah.
Cause I want to get better as soon as
It's
possible.
all about control. As soon as you can control the bodily symptoms.
Okay. I don't know much so much.
So that is about physical.
The superficial. That's
Yeah,
the superficial.
So if you take the behind one,
The behind
the
one
root,
is
the imaging.
the root
yeah,
of the
the name
problem.
of the problem.
The root of the problem.
So this is case by case.
Case by case, yeah.
Oh.
Like not everyone will have a
Injustice case.
a beef with the army.
May I know what's the like common things that you see, so that we can keep more of the maybe this will
Okay, the most common denominator for triggers is a situation that will remind them of their powerlessness.
Okay.
Yeah.
what
At that time you were really like a kid, right?
Yeah.
You felt that
I
there's
felt
nothing I
useless
can do.
Yeah, like
Like-
fuck. Okay, I'll just let you take me or kill me out. Just humiliate
Yes.
me. It's okay.
Yeah.
You just
it's a trauma. That's exactly what trauma means.
Okay.
It's an incident in your life where you feel completely helpless and powerless. You're completely at the power of someone else.
Would you recommend like people like while going like this situation for me to like go back and face the person and like resolve it?
If that's possible, that's the best way.
Oh, best way is to
to
resolve.
gain your sense of control back. That actually at that time you could have done something.
Yeah, I could have shouted.
Spit on his face.
Yeah. I could be him.
Yeah, you agree, right? At that
Yeah,
time,
I
you
could
had
have
a
done
choice.
something lah.
Yeah, but you were pushed down to the level of a child.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
nothing I can do. Nothing I can do. I have to take this. Yeah,
So the only logical thing I think of is really go back and settle the issue,
Yeah.
that's the
Talk to
best.
you.
That's the best. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is it to prove to yourself that you are not powerless actually in that situation?
Yes.
Does it make sense?
Yes. And the most important question that you have to answer is the next time this happens, I can do this.
No, I won't have a next time. I won't be in army soon already.
No, but next time the boss will
Oh.
bully you for
Ah.
nothing, blame you for something you didn't
Yeah.
do.
Okay.
Next time such injustice is about to happen,
I have to learn how to
I
face
can
it.
I can stand up for myself.
Yeah. It's just a very unfortunate case. I bet a lot of people also have. Like let's say family issues.
Yes, definitely.
Family, friends.
You know, so tough. If like they have a family quarrel that they are unable to,
Speak up.
like if they have a family problem that they are unable to kind of like have that tough conversation with, then it's just that downward spiral again, right?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, but there are symbolic ways to handle it. But the best way is to confront the actual tormentor.
What do you mean by symbolic way?
Say for example, I was my trauma is from physical abuse
Okay.
from someone who passed away already.
I
I cannot confront the person,
Yeah,
right?
right.
But there are symbolic ways to handle
So you go to the grave and you spill on the grave.
it. It's possible.
it's
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Logical.
Logical. My favorite is letter writing. I find
That's possible. That's possible.
I was the one who brought up spitting, so sorry about that. But spitting is very symbolic. But yeah, letter writing to write a letter. You can write a letter to this guy,
Yeah. No lah, I'll talk to him.
or write a letter to the MINDEF.
No,
Just
my thought process is that he has to put himself in that position and talk to someone. He's like 40, 30 plus. To talk to someone who's just serving his national service in that shoes, in that way, just because of a small incident. Like he must be a very troubled man as well. So I feel like it wouldn't be fair for me to go and hurt him, right to MINDEF and ruin his career or something. Yeah. So it'd be best to just talk to him.
MINDEF will protect him.
No lah, hold on. NSF very big one. One parent letter go right, wow, you win already. The highest rank is civilian.
Or you can send him a video. I know there are many things that you have to square off with him,
Yeah,
right?
it's just
Yeah.
great.
Like what's your problem, man?
Yeah, like the fuck is wrong with you, bro?
Deep down, came out.
Yeah, that one came out deep. That one came out deep.
So like, what other symbolic ways are there for other than letter writing? Is there
So
any
wait,
other
so
ways?
if it's for a dead person, the letter writing one, do you burn the letter to like in a symbolic way? Yeah, let them come
Depends on the culture,
Oh.
but burning is very effective for the Taoist and the Chinese culture.
Ah, okay.
Burying is more.
Oh, yeah,
Burning,
nice.
it's a translation from the physical realm to the spiritual realm. It's very symbolic. So I would say burning is good.
Burying.
Burying it with the person, good also.
The rest of his life.
Just whatever ways you means that
that feel good.
you feel
Yeah.
that you didn't
Yeah.
want to
So this is
message.
a symbolic way of dealing with anger.
Mm.
But there are other messages like symbolic forgiveness, symbolic apologies, in many ways. Yeah.
Apologies.
Yeah.
Some,
How do you say sorry to?
some of the past?
Because you could be traumatized for hurting someone.
Ah.
Like for example, you were my anxiety attacks comes up because of my guilt from drunk driving and I hit someone.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Going out.
camera on.
The iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you just switch off your sleeping mode. or-
Yeah, it's off already.
Because really,
Yeah.
Julie.
Sorry, the iPhone.
That's alright.
Oh, okay. Hold on to that thought. The apology, the apologizing drunk driving. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Yes.
okay,
Alright.
okay. So the apologizing.
Okay.
Drunk
Yeah. How do you symbolically? Well, for us, how do we symbolically apologize to our parents? Give them donuts, right?
I buy my dad coffee. You know, he like coffee.
Yeah. Or suddenly you give your girlfriend flowers. It's like, hey, what's wrong?
Yeah.
But that's a way of apologizing.
Yeah.
So there are symbolic ways. It depends on the culture, and it's a hidden language of the unconscious.
Mm.
Yeah, donating to charity. There's something like this.
As long as you just ease your mind and prove, show you that hey, actually I've done something about
And you
it.
get some closure, lah.
Yes.
Yeah, closure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What other ways are there other than letter writing? I'm quite curious now. Sorry.
I actually recall a case from the police force of a Chinese lady from one of the flats
Okay.
having an hysterical attack. Yeah, they think it's demon possession
Yeah.
and stuff, right? I don't know why they call the police, right? Call the police. I just supervise the counselor in charge. So they called the police, and the police were trying to handle this girl. This auntie, the screaming auntie and stuff. They claim screaming in another language and stuff.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter.
Whoa.
But the point here is we have to communicate with her unconscious. And one of the senior police officers, he's a very smart guy. He asked for what do you call the ghost money?
Oh, the Kim Chua. The
The ghost
money.
the ghost money.
the ingots, right? Yeah, the paper ingots.
Is it?
It's paper. It's a messy
Oh,
paper.
yeah,
right?
the one you burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just burned some in front of her, and she's well afterwards.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So something symbolically connected to her.
Oh.
We don't see it as something spiritual that the spirits were pacified and stuff.
Yeah.
But something was
logical,
acknowledged
yeah.
that hey, okay, something was released.
Yeah.
I acknowledge that I sent my
okay.
payment to heaven or something. Yeah, and it's the same symbolism as cutting. Cutters, right?
Yeah.
Cutters, self-mutilation.
I do that.
Okay.
I did. It's kind of
Haha.
Still
but
there.
yeah, it's still there. Yeah, but
What the hell?
it gives me a sense of release, like that's it. Right? It helps me.
It also indicates guilt.
Yeah, it gives me guilt that I'm on MC for so long.
Okay.
I let down my guys. That's the guilt that I have.
Okay.
That I cannot
Okay.
live with.
Yeah.
Like the people.
So
that
self-hurt, self-punishment.
yeah.
You need to feel forgiven, right?
Yeah.
You need to feel
Feel released, yeah.
released from, So
Just hold too much weight on something that's
Yes.
not supposed to.
Yeah.
And like not knowing how to deal.
yeah.
Oh, now my head very. So
So-
that means there is still another problem that is making them have this how do I put it? Okay, so that means right now, other than depression, other than anxiety, there's still another underlying problem that they are facing with, which makes them go and harm themselves. Is it
We can characterize that under anxiety.
under anxiety as well?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it might just be
Or depressed people do that also. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm both. What up?
Whoa.
It's only a symptom. The cutting,
Yeah.
it's only a symptom.
Okay.
It's not a sickness in itself.
Oh,
It's a
okay,
sign
okay,
of a
sign.
sickness. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Understand.
There's no such sickness as cutting. It's only this. Yeah. In army they call it violinist because
Wow.
Yeah, it's very sadistic. It's very sadistic.
Wow.
But okay.
You hear it before? No. First time.
When my friend told
The
me,
cutters.
yeah, they are violinists.
So like something that actually I want to touch on with is also when it comes to us helping ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Like you already given us a lot of information, but one thing I want to just a little bit about is like how in your professional capacity will you help someone and why, like what's the, how do I put it in a way, like why should I go for professional help?
Oh yeah.
Those kind of stuff.
How do you?
Because
what
I
would
feel
you
like
encourage.
it's like a lot of times, you know, I think we shared it the time when our conversation, we like I have friends who are diagnosed, like who I really think that they have depression and they also think that they do have themselves, but they are not inclined to go for professional help because like, I scared later my insurance I cannot claim, I scared this, I scared that, people
Okay.
say me, like how is it actually like, and is there any misconceptions that we need to know as well?
Why do people don't go for professional help?
Yeah, and how do we recommend them to go? Tell them to go.
Oh, okay. Sadly, you're right about
Because it's stigmatized in Singapore.
culturally,
Yeah.
the stigma is
Yeah.
still there.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially for civil service. For
As in people who working in sales.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
especially for civil service.
Teachers.
Yeah, it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
sound well. For, say for example, you're an investor of Microsoft and you
Yeah.
know that Bill Gates is going for therapy for schizophrenia.
Ah,
It doesn't.
It's-
There's still a
yeah.
stigma.
Yeah.
I'm using an American
Yeah.
sample.
Yeah.
Even in America, there's still a stigma,
Oh.
yeah, that's true.
right? For a
Yeah.
CEO to be crazy like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and unstable. We have many funny names about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all negative connotations.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, but a nice thing to do to invite people to come for professional help is, well, in the first place, your first question was what's the difference between self-help and the professionals?
Yeah.
Correct, right?
Yeah.
I would suggest not just to boost the business,
Yeah.
but we really need the initial professional view,
Yeah.
especially for diagnosis.
Diagnosis.
Or, but
okay.
diagnosis is the
makes sense.
pinpointing of the actual enemy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
To pinpoint whether it's really depression or whether it's really anxiety, and many other options there. Yeah, because the diagnosis will always lead to the treatment plan.
Yes.
So treatment plan is actually, I tell my clients this one. My actual job is to pinpoint the problem and explain the problem.
Yeah.
Because once you can explain the actual problem, the cure or the self-help is very easy.
Yes. Okay. Understand.
Yeah. So this is what the professionals can do. The professionals have seen more cases. The most important
Yeah.
is that they've seen a myriad of cases which they can compare templates on.
Understand. I get what you mean. But does it means that if I were to go for professional help, I will definitely be on medication?
Okay. Ooh, no. Yeah.
Right.
I think you would know this more,
Yeah.
right? Because we actually have 3 types of mental health professionals for now. We have the psychiatrist, the psychologist, and the counselors. Yeah, psychiatrists are the ones in the hospitals and they prescribe medications.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do the hardcore stuff. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Psychologists just deal with the clinical cases
Okay.
like depression, anxiety.
Mm.
Counselors are just for maladjustments.
Yeah.
Like my girlfriend left me.
Oh.
Like this.
Situational depression.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Should I leave my job or not? That's the
Yeah.
counseling part.
Yeah.
But when there's a real condition, you go to the psychologist.
Okay.
Yeah. If there's a medical condition, like a brain problem or hormonal imbalance, psychiatrist.
Okay.
Substance-induced problems. So there.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh really? That means you like substance abuse is also psychiatrist.
For me, I stay away from substance abuse.
okay,
Say
okay.
for example, alcoholism is okay, but when you say heroin,
Cocaine.
cocaine not much in Singapore, but heroin,
Ecstasy.
I know the stashes, but I just deal with the psychological side, but I submit to the psychiatrist that we need them.
Okay.
Yeah, in weaning off, it has a lot to do with the body.
Mm.
Yeah. So between the three, sadly, you said something about insurance a while ago,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Insurance only covers the psychiatric part
Yeah.
Okay.
because they're the only ones from the Ministry of Health. I do have some. I don't know what insurance they have. I do have some clients who claim that they get it back from the insurance, but I don't know what insurance they have.
I don't.
Yeah. I don't see
Right.
any subsidies or what for psychological help
Yeah.
unless you go to the polyclinic.
But okay, the referral.
Yeah, correct.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But first, counselor first or straight up to psychologist? Is there
Okay.
a process that they usually will go by? Or
Actually,
like-
no.
Alright, just
Okay.
But
go-
I would say the psychologist is trained to assess more.
More.
Yeah.
Okay,
But if
understand.
the problem is something like adjustment,
Yeah. Okay.
I just came by to Singapore. I don't like this.
Yeah.
A counselor
Counselor
yeah.
is fine.
Yeah.
Okay, understand. I understand. And counselor is also professionally trained, correct? So they
Yes,
have
they
the
are.
all of them are
They are.
professionally
Yeah,
trained.
Yes.
okay, understand. So if like we rephrase, that means psychiatrists will prescribe medicine,
Yes.
but psychologists will not, correct? But under the idea that if I were to visit a psychiatrist, psychologist, sorry, if I were to visit a psychologist, and then they officially label that I have depression.
Diagnosed, not
Okay,
labeled.
that's not label. Sorry, that's very
Diagnosed.
weird. Diagnosed that I have depression.
Yeah.
Like I think the biggest fear for everyone is still that diagnosis and that label of depression.
The biggest fear is the depression.
Yeah, it's like if like
Yeah, like once I got diagnosed with depression, there's a certain thing that changed in my mind. Like, oh shit,
like,
so
am I wrong?
am I
and then
am I
like
crazy?
like the logical, as in the most logical thing that people would think of is that since I'm diagnosed with depression, does that mean that for the rest of my life I will always be labeled that, and it
Well,
stops
I-
me from doing all this sort of stuff?
Yeah.
Like, is it really true? Is it really something we have to accept and learn, or is it like maybe there's some other stuff?
Okay, yeah. Well, first I would say it's true.
Uh-huh.
That it's true that people really think this way.
Okay, yeah, okay.
A lot of people think this way, and a lot of people don't. There are a lot of people who actually want to be labeled for some reason. Yeah, malingering and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But-
okay,
but to- But the other part of your question is that is it really true in society that people label you? Actually, no. I would say no. Yeah.
Okay.
So although it sometimes you have to declare it,
Yeah.
I'm not sure for your case.
When it comes to like a national, like a civil job, you have to declare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I cannot sign on national stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh okay.
Because I'm considered best F already, like the lowest thing.
Okay. So
Okay.
that's the trouble. But
Ah.
because some people ask you to declare it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there are a lot of places who don't really mind.
Okay.
Yeah. But it depends on where you
Where
apply
you
for your
apply for job
job.
and stuff,
Yeah. Stuff. Yeah.
Okay, understand.
So.
What?
So again, yeah. I want to rephrase my answer. So
Yeah.
in a sense, it will affect.
Okay.
But not that much.
It will affect, especially if you go to a psychiatrist, it will affect.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a public record.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you go to the private centers, like Grace Counseling Center.
Grace
Oh, okay.
Counseling.
We'll keep it under the no. Yeah.
Wink.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. But then again, okay. Let's put it this way. Even though you declare it and stuff, right? The human resource, the trained human resource, should all know in terms of applying for a job.
Yeah.
The trained human resource should all know that these are just labels.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. They may be diagnosis, professional diagnosis, but in the end, these are just labels. It should not affect the identity of the person.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless this one, I just want to separate. Unless it's schizophrenia.
Oh,
Okay.
Unless it's schizophrenia.
okay.
But depression, honestly, everyone goes through depression.
Yeah. I get what you mean. I just think it's very stigmatized at this extent right now.
Yeah.
Then like the biggest problem now everyone feels is still like because they don't want to be labeled, then they don't seek help, which then goes that loop, and then they all go to the
Get worse, get worse, get worse, get worse.
Yes, yeah. But most counselors and psychologists will not label.
I understand.
Yeah.
That's true.
Psychiatrists have to label because they need to put it on the record
Yeah.
for claims and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I understand. I totally get what you mean. Okay.
But
Okay, yeah. As in now, at least I understand that. Because I always think that okay, if you go to see a doctor, I always label it as doctor because I don't know there's so many different tiers. Go see a doctor, then you got depression. Okay, he give you medicine. Then full stop. Then you forever depend on the medicine. Then you will never get out of the cycle. That was my impression.
Okay.
Yeah. So that it's awesome to hear that actually there is different tiers available for different treatments, and then there are so actually this kind of designated treatment for people. There's not just medicine. It's like they help you to at least you will tell your client say like, oh, there's these issues you need to solve. This sort of stuff you can try to feel better first, correct?
Yes.
Before
yes.
you refer them up. Like,
Yeah. There are sensitive professionals like,
okay, understand.
they don't label.
I understand.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay.
So I think like subsequently we like I feel it's our another mission to also like show the world that depression is there and it's actually very common.
then there's nothing
So
wrong
that
with it.
there's nothing really wrong with it.
It's okay. I was about to say it's normal.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Okay, so that sort of there's a lot of
Yeah,
about
that's not
depression lah.
Mm.
But what about anxiety though? Like one of the questions that I wanted to clear today is how often do people actually recover from anxiety? Like completely recover? I know like
Completely recover. Okay, the
the
anxiety
symptoms, yeah.
symptoms.
This is one of the questions asked to me, like a little background about these questions that I was recently at a party, a Christmas party, whereby a lot of people with mental diagnoses lah. A lot of people are diagnosed with like anxiety, depression, this kind of stuff. And like this was the most common question that we joked about lah.
Okay.
Do you think anxiety will ever finish? I don't know. I think you already have anxiety.
With
you know?
proper professional treatment.
Yeah, correct. Like with medication and counseling, everything.
80% on a 2-year relapse rate.
2 years.
Meaning 80% actually get well and return back on a 2-year span.
Oh, after 2 years you go back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
Understand.
But the hope is good.
Oh,
There's an 80% rate.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very
Also,
good.
it also depends. Even if you say 2-year treatment, I have to ask what form of treatment.
yeah. Counseling,
Because
medication.
research for counseling is very difficult. It depends on the treatment plan. Depends on how serious the client was.
Yeah.
But normally, I'll be that. Okay, I'll be that optimistic. 75 to 80%.
And,
Yeah.
100%.
No, to 80%.
Oh,
Yeah, to 80%.
okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
But the relapse rate is high also. Yeah.
But it's all about learning how to deal with it next time when you relapse, right?
Yes, that's why. Yeah.
I understand.
but it's still possible to be like a fully functioning adult with anxiety.
Even while carrying the problem.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's my
people-
biggest worry now, that I will not be able to function properly in the future when I work.
You can fully function now.
Like
Not fully
yeah,
function, but
yeah.
you are functional right now.
Yeah, but at some there are windows, whereby in the morning when I wake up, I spend 6 hours in bed, that kind of days. Whereby I just don't get out of bed.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm afraid of. What if one day I have a job, then I
Okay.
just decide to fuck the job. I don't go today. Never mind, I go and die anyway.
Unless you change your coping style.
Yeah, I need to change.
Yeah.
Your what? Coping style?
Coping style.
Okay. As in like when he suffers that on his bed,
Yeah. The coping style for that one, like just do the job, man. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
more or less the hopelessness type.
Yeah.
That I deny the problem, it will just
Yeah.
go away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Is there any way that you can recommend for me to get out of bed faster? Like when I have that. Right now it's quite good already lah. Like it used to be every day, but now it's like every 4-5 days. Yeah. But what I solved that was by
with proper training, meaning you've trained your habits.
So make it a habit to
Make
get
it a
out of bed
habit.
faster.
That's the best. For me, that's the best.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you're really on the onset of your depression and you really do not feel like going up, there's nothing much people can do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
My brother would physically drag me out lah. So that's that.
Is it helpful? No.
No, I just cry.
He drew you out then.
He
or-
drag me
Probably-
out, then I cry, then I go back. Then like rest a while, then he try again, slowly talk to me, then I get out.
Get up for what?
get up to just to shower and to continue my life.
Just to get the energy
yeah,
going.
just
right?
get the energy going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if there's a bigger carrot they can put,
Yeah.
bigger reward,
Yeah.
bigger incentive for you to get up.
There has to. I'm trying to that's why I'm planning everything. Like every Saturday, I'll sit down and text people asking to fill up my week. So like usually I fill up my things in the afternoon so that I can get out of bed by this time. And
Okay.
I don't like to be late, so I'll wake up.
Okay.
So that's one thing I'm trying to do lah. Yeah. But what is one thing that you tell people who feel like they have lost hope?
They've lost hope in
Yeah.
life, meaning
In
at
life.
suicidal level
Correct.
or
Suicidal level.
okay, suicidals or people hopelessness. We call it current hopelessness
Yeah.
because the hopelessness is in the present
Yeah.
and in the past.
Yeah.
Some people, when you ask them to look into the future, it's still blank.
Correct.
I consider that good news, as opposed to a bleak future,
Oh.
right? So
Yeah.
if I ask you, your future looks good. Sometimes there's optimism.
Oh.
The worst case would be my future is nonsense. live for what? More suffering. My future is full of suffering. Yeah. So we call it hope. We just create hope. Something to look forward to, something to focus on. It's a center of gravity that will pull you out from where you are.
Yeah, like this,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah, this whole thing is your
This is my hope.
hope.
Yeah.
In a sense, it's a pull factor.
Yeah.
You're stuck in a rut here, right?
Yeah.
Something that takes you out of orbit, in a sense. Yeah. Yeah.
But what can I? Because I'm talking to a few people who are going through anxiety and depression. What do you recommend me as someone who's outside the professional level to tell them like help them? How can I help people?
Why don't we like that? We phrase it another way. Assuming
Hmm.
you come across somebody that he just lays the bomb and you say that, oh, I got depression. Not on a professional capacity, as a friend, like, what will you try to say to the other person? Like what will it be? Because for us, right, you'll be like, so how does it feel? Or try to relax. Is your life really that bad? Or let's say,
That's empathy. That's
is
great.
Is that the good way?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's great. Yeah.
So
Empathy first.
empathy first.
Empathy first.
Is
That's
there
the
anything
gateway.
wrong that we can never do?
Oh, is there any?
Because
oh.
like it might feel very commonsensical to not to say it, but I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
at least
What
we
nots,
have to
right?
say,
What
yeah,
not to say,
nots
right?
Got.
Well-
There are some things that we found online that people actually say like, don't be depressed. It's your fault. I know how you feel.
Yeah.
Life isn't fair. Stop feeling sorry for
I
yourself.
actually hate it when people say that to me. That I know
yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
how you feel.
Same.
I
What,
know, right?
really? Have you drank the same? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, guys.
It's just this stuff. I really like the person that told me like suicidal people should go and kill themselves. Yeah, that's the same. He falls under the same window. Shit, you should never say to
Yeah,
anyone.
Yeah.
but signing towards the positive side of things.
Yeah.
Positive side of things. So that means we will just start with more empathy, lah.
Yeah.
Is it? Just
More
listen to
empathy.
them.
Because they're simply depressed, anxious, people who are troubled. They're simply looking for in the initial stage. They're simply looking for someone to latch onto. They're
Ah.
simply looking for someone to understand them,
Okay.
not give solutions,
Not give. Oh,
not
okay,
give
okay.
tips.
Not trying to meditate, not trying to this. Is to listen to him, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
to understand them, to fully understand them.
Guys, listen up, don't give advice, just stay down there and listen. Because I feel, yeah, a lot of us.
Hey, camera off. A lot of us something
Sorry, I didn't know when it off. I was.
No worries.
It's okay.
Thanks. I mean, like.
We got more than one camera. It's okay.
Yeah, still.
Yeah. He's the editor, chief editor, so
I
he will have to
go home and
edit.
cry later.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a crazy amount of. Right.
Oh yeah. What was the line?
It is. What?
A lot of people.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It
So
is.
when I feel that like when someone share with you some problem, right? Usually what we do is you say, hey, I know, right? That time I also. Then you start sharing your own problem, right?
It becomes you.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So
You hijack the show.
even
Yeah.
I am very, very conscious of it and not unconscious of it sometimes, and I will do it as well. So like, just remember when someone shares you a problem, try to listen to him because empathy and understanding his problem is what he needs. Correct? Makes
Yes.
sense. Yeah. I think that is something we really need to keep track of. So this one I want to re-emphasize again. It's like I want you to let us know about how would you go on with your clients, because I feel it's important for us to understand your realm as well.
Uh-huh.
So like, what will you do, assuming that if Sian were to go with you as a client per se, like what will be the steps so you will guide him along, so that if the viewers out there can know that, if I were to look for someone, how is it going to be like and how is it going to help?
Yeah.
I think it's very important.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So it's a good question, yeah, because most people are wondering what happens in counseling or what happens in therapy, right? And
Your hand won't hang.
Huh?
Never mind, I think we
It
abandoned
just
that.
lapse and
Never mind, abandon that. You just use the camera.
Lousy phone, cover Taobao one.
Go on. Yeah, what happened, man? What happens?
It's alright.
my hand job, so I don't know, look at that.
well, the main job of the counselor is to. They may seem invasive. They will ask all these questions, open up your past, open up the way you think, the way you saw things and stuff, because we want to know where you learned all these things. Everything is a learned behavior.
Okay.
Depression is learned. Well, depression itself is not learned, but when and where to be depressed, what will trigger you for depression, is learned. Yeah. So,
I don't understand. So that means usually something in your life will reflect the way you handle stuff.
and the way you react to things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you try to pinpoint where.
Yeah.
Like where they got it from, or like is it their like their
Their
family,
upbringing,
their
or
upbringing?
their-
Is it like
The upbringing, the which is everything.
Oh, okay,
The-
okay, I understand.
I learned to cry because of Aladdin.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Disney ruined. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, true. I was so very guilty last time.
Disney. Yeah. Well, like, you ever ask yourself, right? Who taught guys to cry
Yeah.
when they're rejected by a female?
TV.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a learned thing. Actually, yeah. You ask monkeys, they're like, yeah, who cares, man? It's not learned. It's not part of their society. So there. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Who taught you to be angry when someone steals your coat?
Oh.
This is not. Yeah, it's not a red drink. It's all learned. Yeah. But our manifestation of anger are all the same because anger is not learned. But when to be angry is more or less learned. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what you do.
I tell you off.
Oh.
Why would you feel bad? You learned that from somewhere.
So you try to learn
Think about it,
Try to pinpoint where they learn it from, then you tackle the problem there together.
We call it the unlearning stage.
Oh.
Yes.
Unlearning stage.
The unlearning.
Wow, I read
So
down
we have
unlearning.
to pinpoint. Like I have to rewatch my Aladdin and tell myself that hey, these are for kids. It's not the proper model for
Oh,
male behavior
Oh.
to cry.
That's what you
So
no,
you-
no.
so you-
To cry when someone rejects you. Yeah.
So you ask the questions. The counselor will ask a question, and then like try to understand and do the unlearning stage with them.
Yes.
And then
And,
How are
and we process the original memory, the core memory. I call it the core memory.
okay.
It's the mother of all memories. That that something in my past made me believe I'm worthless.
Okay.
Which is the core of depression,
Yeah.
right? I'm worthless.
Yeah.
Something in my past. So I want to know, as a therapist, I'll ask about your mom, your dad, the prime suspects.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Yeah. How did they discipline you? Any traumatic moments? And usually they will share something like, I failed in a test and my mom told me if I don't score higher, she'll disown me.
Wow.
This is a real case. Sorry, excuse
Wow.
me. This is a real case. Yeah. The mom said, I'll disown you. If you don't improve your marks, I'll disown you.
What?
Of course, imagine how a kid will take this.
Yeah.
As adults, so what,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay,
okay.
so this one also lah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
But they carry that hurt and that pain
For
until they
lifetime.
to adolescence, to young adult. So there.
And they take things to try to numb the pain, but it doesn't work, right?
Yeah. They look for things to cover up their worth, buy stuff, overwork.
Yeah, understand.
Yeah. It's just a core memory that they need to let go of. So
when they unlearn, then do you do the relearning phase?
they unlearn and learn something new.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like
Like
on themselves? On their own?
normally it's done in the ending stage of the therapy session.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, your therapy session also is like that. Like you ask questions,
This
and you.
It's like that.
okay.
Yeah.
That's the standard.
Yes, we'll look to the source of your learning. It's all about learned behavior. Sorry.
So a session with you, honestly, is just like what we see. Like you sit down in a chair, relax, you speak and you talk.
Yeah. We eat. Yeah, we're known for wang wang.
Oh.
Yeah, we have a mountain of yeah, just MSG cleaning. That's MSG. Yeah,
so cool.
because as easy as it sounds, it takes tons of trust for the client to fully open up. Yeah, especially for the things that you hear there. It's not just these things. It's
quite
very deep stuff.
horrible stuff. It's personal stuff. It's embarrassing. It's shameful. Yeah.
How do you deal with this kind of thing? Like, after you hear this kind of stuff.
Yeah. How do I deal with it?
Yeah.
What do you mean by?
You must have some emotional connection built with the client, right?
Definitely. If
And-
not,
yeah, that's why. That when you hear this, don't you feel like a bit of sympathy? Like, how do you keep your emotions aside, this kind of stuff?
well, when I say doing my job,
Yeah.
what I mean there is by seeing everything as a job, as a case. Yeah.
Professional.
As a case, it's. I know I'm speaking to a person with real experiences,
Yeah.
and I have to respect that. But what I mean by I deal with them as a case is that once we say goodbye for the day, close the folder, move on. Nothing else I can do
Yeah, I get what you mean.
afterwards. Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. Don't you feel traumatized? Like some people tell you some like crazy stuff. Like whoa.
Yeah, when I was younger.
Okay.
When I was younger, yeah.
Yeah,
It
you
traumatized
started
me.
out.
It traumatized me. It shows you that there's really a lot of hurt people out there, yeah, who digest the wrong stuff in their heads. Like I'm damaged goods. I'm hopeless. I'm
Yeah.
defiled. Yeah. So, and that's how they react. That's how they treat themselves, and that's how they react.
Okay.
And now we're telling your viewers that
Yeah.
these are all learned,
Understand.
and you have a choice to reject.
And you will feel
You
better
have a
after you.
choice. Yeah, that's very powerful message. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You have a choice.
A bit deep.
Yeah, I think honestly, like I really admire you a lot for
Yeah.
working in this time, because like I feel it really helps a lot more people, and it's very necessary at this time of age as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially
So
in the internet age.
you are so busy, you're willing to come out
Yeah.
with us
On the
just-
weekends, I'm
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah, lor. Thank you very much.
Of course, what you're doing is a bigger thing.
We-
Really,
Yeah. We hope that
it's a
next
bigger
time-
thing, and it will become bigger. Yes, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank
for
you so
your-
much.
yeah. You want to ask him about
The
your
dreams.
Dreams. I think the
Yeah.
last thing we.
Actually,
went
okay, so
to-
for the last conversation we had, you shared that you actually specialize in dream interpretation, right?
Oh,
Yes.
So cool.
Yeah.
That is so
Yeah.
cool.
Dream interpretation. This is the oh my god. Okay, so
submit your dreams to our.
so I vividly remember 3 dreams, okay, and all of them consist of me dying, but all of them have different emotions. So the first dream is that I was walking in a park at Choa Chu Kang, and then I fell down into a ditch, and I hit my head, and I see a rat crawling out, and then I see death coming as a lady coming to me,
Okay.
and then she brought me to my family, and then I died happy.
Okay.
Okay. Then second one is all this is like within the past week that I remember lah, and I keep repeating in my head so I don't forget. That second one is that I got into a fight, and then a bunch of people hit me, and then I die angry. Then I woke up.
Oh.
Yeah. Next one
Okay.
is I think I told you before is that I was looking at a video of myself and I took a gun and shoot myself.
Okay.
Yeah. That one I die scared.
But there was one that you didn't want to die. Right?
Dying
That's the-
happy,
that's the
dying
dying
angry,
happy
dying
one.
scared.
The first one.
Yeah. The
The
lady
first
one.
one. He said the first one. You
Yeah,
never
first
thought
one
it was
I
you.
didn't want happy. I didn't want to die because I was really happy. You know, cause I felt like when
The
I
one in
was,
the ditch. Oh,
yeah,
this is different.
Yeah, no, in the ditch, not in the ditch.
Okay.
So like when death brought me around, I didn't want to die, and I was happy. But throughout the whole dream, right, I realized that I'm actually happy. You know, I can leave. You know, I can go already.
No, you can go already.
Yeah,
or you can continue with
I
your life.
shouldn't go. I shouldn't. I
Oh.
woke up happy because I never died.
Okay.
Yeah. The rest is I woke up. I'm happy.
I have a lot of questions.
Go. It's okay. It's like
Yeah.
I might not be able to remember some parts, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, just for some background, because there's many forms of dream interpretation. The one I use is the psychoanalytic one from Sigmund Freud.
Okay.
It's the same It's the same course that I give. I give this usually twice a year before in SIT,
Oh,
Singapore Institute of
Can we sign up?
Technology. Yeah.
Wait, can you sign up? No, we need to be students SIT.
Maybe so.
I think it's for SIT students. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn it.
It's
The
one of
offer is
the.
still up. Help you
Okay,
give
help me,
my,
help me give up.
my
Yeah,
canvas
Oh yeah. Well,
change the pointer.
Yeah.
if they invite me again,
Ah.
yeah,
SIT, yeah.
I'll bring my friends. Yeah. It's used to it's SIT, but they stopped last year.
Oh,
I don't know why. You
It's
know.
a very popular course.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
popular
It's
course.
so amazing. So
Sometimes
cool.
twice or thrice a year.
Oh.
Yeah. They give it for the students, the VAP, value added program.
Oh, yo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, no worries. I'll invite you in the next.
You
Thank
can
you
wear
so much.
uniform. Your
Yeah, we can wear your
logo and
Your,
everything.
your face, yeah. Then raise your face, yeah. Together.
No. It's scare people. Scare people away.
Yeah.
But okay. I mentioned that I need to ask tons of questions because all of these are in symbolic form. Yeah, symbolic form because in the dreamscape, always remember that in the dreamscape, there's no fixed language. There's no fixed language. That's why you cannot see letters. No, you cannot see coherent letters. You cannot see coherent words. You cannot see consistent numbers. You cannot. Yeah, everything is flipping around. Everything is changing forms. You try dialing a number in your dream, you won't be able to dial it consistently.
Okay.
Yeah, because the language center, the language center of the brain is actually sleeping. It's been active the whole day, right? Interpreting
Yeah.
stuff and stuff. So when you reach, important thing to know that when you reach the actual dreamscape of an REM, full blown REM dream, what you have to know is the language center is off, your mathematical center is off, your basically all your reality functions are off. Should be. This is a healthy sleep. You cannot afford to have reality functions while dreaming, right?
Yeah.
It's no longer a dream, right? So all these images that you're seeing are raw emotions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what's the point, man? The point here is that you're in a ditch. A lady picked you up, right?
No, death came to me in the
Oh.
form of a lady, yeah.
Okay.
She told me she's there. Yeah.
Okay. Now I will have to ask you who that is.
I don't
You
know.
will. Yeah. That's why you need to go through the process. It's a whole process.
Oh.
Because for now, I'll just have to think that it's probably. No, okay. Can you for now, very quickly? Why would you manifest death as a lady? You're a Marvel fan, is it?
Yes. Lady Death, yeah.
Mistress
correct.
Death.
Yeah, Mistress Death. They push.
Okay.
I'm a Deadpool fan.
Okay, Mistress Death. Okay, let's just say it's okay. So,
Hey, are you a Marvel fan as well?
well, first thing I ask, okay, which I haven't asked you,
Uh.
right? Please take note when you're interpreting dreams.
Uh.
A lot of the elements of your dream may not be interpretable.
Oh.
Because okay, number one, you have to omit the stuff that came from the environment.
Okay.
Yeah. So say for example, if you sleep on an air conditioned room, super cold, and you drop your blanket somewhere, you'll dream something about
Somewhere cold.
snow,
Oh,
somewhere
okay.
cold, igloo. You're an Eskimo. You cannot interpret that. It's just simply your mind reinterpreting what's outside.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like having a full bladder when you're sleeping.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, then you
Forever
need to pee,
peeing,
yeah,
forever
correct.
peeing dream, right? Yeah. So that's simply your mind interpreting. Yeah. So be careful about things that you cannot interpret.
Okay.
Another thing you cannot interpret is when you try to rehearse what happened during the day.
Oh.
Yeah. So say for example, on that day you really tripped somewhere,
Oh.
and your mind is just repeating it.
Oh.
You cannot really interpret that.
Hey, we filming then the 孟婆 is God of Death also.
No, not she wasn't in my dream.
Not your dream.
Not in my dream.
Okay.
Like in the show, I went to join him in one of these sets, like for MediaCorp one. Then there
Then
was
the
a-
story is
there was
about
Lady
death,
Death.
Lady of Death.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
maybe
Subconsciously.
it's
Okay.
but
Okay.
it wasn't her. It wasn't her. It was a lady that I don't haven't seen before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on
Next
with
day.
your.
All right, and besides, you have multiple dreams of death. It's not
Ah.
just that day, right?
Yeah, correct,
So
correct.
yeah, so we just erase. Yeah,
Hey, camera.
Camera.
Oh.
it's more.
Okay. So the dream.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just explained when we were taking time. I just explained the full dream. So
Yeah.
what what interpretations can you put
Okay.
there?
So you mentioned 3 dreams, right?
Correct.
Most common denominator is death.
Correct.
Because Mister's death only appeared once, right?
Yeah. But I die all the time.
It's all die.
Yeah.
3 different emotions. Okay. So for I'll do it properly. What's death to you?
Ending. No more.
Ending, no more.
Stop.
No afterlife. No restart.
No, just complete full stop. I become worm food.
Okay. So as simple as this one, we follow the basic rule of interpretation that everything satisfies a wish. So you just have a wish to end stuff, right? At that point. But how did the dream end? You mentioned that the first one.
Wake up happy because I'm alive.
She's not going to die.
Yeah.
You're not going to die, right?
Yeah.
And how did the other 2 end?
Other 2 end with me scared or upset. Cause one is me coming out from a camera from a screen to shoot myself and I die. I bam already then I wake up. And another one is me getting into a fight and being beaten.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I check what does that mean to you? When being in a fight, did that remind you of something else?
Reminds me of army. How every time I'm in front of everyone and everyone is telling me bullshit like they cannot do this, they cannot do that. But I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm just trying to stay afloat myself. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But that's maybe from a very very what's that called, philosophical point of view lah. That's how I view it.
All right. So a quick interpretation. You gave me 3 dreams, right?
Yeah, correct.
All of which pertains to death, and this is what you tend to wish, that you want to just end everything, end the pain.
Yeah, correct.
So sort of end the pain. If it's solely up to you, you would have ended it. I'll explain when I get that. If it's just about your career in the army and stuff, you would have ended it. Yeah. But one thing that's keeping you alive is simply your family.
Yeah.
Because that's the first dream kept you alive, right?
Yeah.
You saw your family and you said, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
But when it comes to purely society, friends and stuff, for you it's not worth it right now.
Yeah.
And given all the variables constant, you would shoot yourself.
Yeah.
If you had the power to do it. So the only thing, given the data that we have, right, it's more or less what I want to emphasize on right now is how you chose to stay alive, that you defied mistress death because of your family.
Yeah.
So if this is a real session, I will ask you to talk more about your family. Talk more about your family. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's a good progress, right? This is a good sign that I'm happy to be alive.
It's a good progress that you have something to hold on to. Yeah. And you have a pull factor rather than a push.
Yeah.
So there.
I got
Yeah.
family.
Your family. From the data given.
That's very nice to hear. You know you included right inside my game.
Yeah.
He's like family.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. He's been with me for so
I'm
long.
sure,
I'm just really happy to be still alive to be doing this now.
Okay.
That's really nice. Thank you so much.
Okay. And that dream also allowed you to express some anger towards the army.
Yeah, definitely. Now.
Because that's the anger dream, right? The second one, right? Yeah.
It's a mess lah. That one was just waking up, feeling weak, powerless cause I got overpowered. Yeah.
Ganged up. You feel ganged up.
Yeah, because they all of them are calling me sleep this, you know, because of my back injury. But
Yeah.
you know, I don't know, life what to do. I got nothing to do inside, so they gossip lah. Yeah, but it's okay. I'm getting better, and when I'm better, I'm gonna run faster than anyone there, so it's okay.
Okay. Yeah. I agree with that one.
Mm.
I agree with that one.
Wow,
Yeah.
mind blown.
So yeah, from that data given,
Mind blown. Thank you so much.
the time of the interview,
You're very into dream interpretation, right? Is it the thing that really interests you a lot?
in terms of knowing someone, yes.
Oh.
It's a form of psychological test. When you say psychological testing, right?
Yeah.
These are special tools that we give the clients to know more about them apart from the interview. So dream interpretation is more like a psychological test. Yeah,
Okay.
it's designed to take out things that you cannot voice out in an interview.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's damn cool.
Unconscious.
Unconsciously, yeah. Unconscious
Oh.
materials, yeah.
Oh yeah, I just disclosed a lot of information by telling you my dreams. I told you how
Yes,
much
but I need you also to unlock a lot of the symbols because they're your symbols.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
damn. Alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's damn cool way.
Yeah.
That's damn cool way. If you ever have a seminar, please let me go.
Yeah. I will inform you guys of the next one.
We will really go and help you out.
Yeah,
Like, do
set you up.
whatever
your
you
PA,
need.
No worries,
you
no
mic,
worries.
you need
Okay,
refreshments.
drive you around.
We'll set up one with them, right?
buy you taping.
Yeah.
Teh si kosong.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
our
yeah.
own walkie-talkie.
Letting you take video.
Yeah.
This is a small-
See,
yeah.
see? Oh, hey. Legit, if you need any help, right? Let us know.
don't
Yeah, I'll let you guys know. Promise,
Yeah.
promise.
Say,
Yeah.
Full
must let
worries.
us know.
I think we just use it's okay.
Yeah, okay. So
Wrap it up.
yeah, I think this is awesome. Thank you very much for hanging out with us.
Yeah,
Hey,
not-
thanks for
we
inviting me
really-
here.
Not just Kobe but Richard as well. Thank you so much both of you.
Love you,
Really
Richard. Thank you
amazing.
very much. Yeah, it's really been fun. So guys, I hope you guys learned as much as we did. It was so many moments I got mind blown so bad. You all can
Mind
try to
blown.
see. Yeah, I swear I got mind blown so bad. I learned so much stuff. I really understand that like what it takes and the complexity when it comes to dealing with all these issues. So it's like as a third person perspective, I mean it helps me to understand what I should do next time when I come across anyone with depression or with what thing? Oh yeah, like you, anyone like you. So like thank you very much. If say again, if you all need any help in the future, do let us know. Cause we are really very grateful for you. Let us know anything you need. Okay.
Okay,
Thank
so
you very much.
one of the things we do like after the podcast is that if you out there watching this video feel that you need someone to talk to or you need anything that you feel like you need someone to talk to lah in general, sometimes it's easier to reach out to a stranger. Don't hesitate to come and talk to us on our Instagram, our Facebook, our in Twitter, wherever you need us.
Yeah, and definitely we'll leave Kirby's information down below.
That's
if
right,
you're
that's
looking
right.
for professional help,
Grace
right?
counseling, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Grace
All the
Thank you.
information there, yes, everything we'll leave it down in the description below. Please, if you all need help,
Yeah.
someone to assist you, go ahead and look for them. Okay, they are
That's
so awesome. They come down for free. They just like that. They come down and just talk to us, and they are doing it because they're passionate about it. They really like want to help people out. So if you're looking for someone that don't judge you, people who is really genuine about their trade, I honestly think it's these are the guys
This
you
is
can
them,
go for.
yeah.
So okay, catch you guys next episode.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, cheers,
Yeah,
cheers.
Cheers, cheers.
Okay, bye. Bye.
Bye.